back. This is Share the Wealth. I'm Adrian. This week we're talking about neoliberalism. So we're going to get into the nitty-gritty for really, now that we kind of understand it from a theoretical perspective, get into what it means for us in our everyday lives. So neoliberalism, why don't we just get straight into our slides. Everybody loves a PowerPoint. These aren't slides. They're just pictures, you know what I mean? So neoliberalism is an ideology that puts profit before people at all costs. We've talked about the three pillars of neoliberalism. It's not just economic, it's also political, deeply ingrained in our social structures as well. So neoliberalism puts profit before people all the time. What that really means is free market principles across all sectors without question. And what that really means, kind of all one and the same, two different ways of saying the same thing, right? But essentially, there are times where it makes sense to have a free market guide what we're doing and let honest competition do what it does. But there are times where that is probably the wrong approach. And yet neoliberalism, neoliberal capitalism, however you choose to talk about it, it would say that free market is always the best. The free market's always the best way to choose the outcome. There's so much complexity in the world that the free market is the only way to let things sort themselves out. But where that leaves us, it affects us in a number of ways here. The quality of our life just decreases subtly, first and foremost. All of our lives, it decreases really subtly as the quality of the products and services that companies offer us, quality is sacrificed for profit. So you can think about, for example, healthcare, what it's like to have health insurance. And you need to know about all these different types of plans, and you can have this plan or that plan or a third plan or a fifth plan, and then within that plan, what type of doctor visits are you allowed to book, and when do you need to go through a primary care physician to get a referral to go to see a specialist? What's your copay? What's your deductible? What's your out-of-pocket maximum? All of these things, there's so much complexity in healthcare that's used as sort of a reason to say, let the free market just go at it, which in turn adds more complexity, and we sort of go down this neoliberal spiral when really there just has to be a better way. I'm not sitting here pretending to have all the answers, but we should think in ways of making things more simple rather than adding layers of complexity to try to solve our problems with complexity. Number two here, the mental and physical health suffers. We're defined as Homo economicus in the eyes of the neoliberal world. We are literally just humans whose purpose it is to consume. Our purpose is to work, make money, and use that money to buy stuff. And if we're not doing that, you're not being productive, because our measure of productivity is GDP, and those are the things that are accounted for in GDP. So we're all defined as Homo economicus, which is probably a major reason so many people are suffering from mental health problems in the United States. And our physical health too. Yeah. Sitting at a desk 8, 9, 10 hours a day, 5 days a week for your entire life. It's probably not good for the old cardiovascular system. In any case, moving on to number 3 here. The entire industries are being consolidated into singular multinational companies. We'll take a look at that in another video about media companies, consumer packaged good companies, major areas we're seeing that happen. And the fourth one here, which will be the focus for the rest of this video, the economy is open to exploitation by individuals who are unconstrained by social responsibility. It's just open to exploitation for people who know the rules and want to use it to their advantage because they have the means to do so. And we don't have to go look very far to see an example of that. If people don't remember Mr. Shkreli here, nicknamed the Pharma Bro, he founded a pharmaceutical company and bought the rights to a drug, a life-saving drug, and he increased the price of that drug overnight arbitrarily just to line his pockets, because what you learn in business school now, capitalism taken to the extreme, which is the foundation for neoliberalism. What you learn in business school is that if you notice that you have a really inelastic market, that consumers are going to pay any price for your product, then it's a good business idea to raise the price, because you're going to increase your profits, and people are going to pay for it no matter what, because they need your product. So a life-saving drug, something that you need to take to live, to survive every single day, that's a pretty inelastic market. And neoliberalism would say that, hey, let the free market figure it out. Here's the free market in action. That's the best result for everybody, is that the price of this drug increases 5,000%. I'm not making that up, to $750 per pill just to stay alive. But that wasn't illegal. There's nothing illegal about that. Shkreli's in jail now, but for something else. He drew a bunch of attention to himself, and then they found out he was also defrauding his investors through a couple of the hedge funds that he ran. But there was nothing illegal. Nothing illegal about arbitrarily raising the price 5,000% just to make money. Because in a neoliberal world, that's good business. I think that's why it's clear, to me at least, and hopefully now to you, that neoliberalism is a ridiculous ideology. Morally, that's horrible. So why is it that we encourage that in our business ethics? Why aren't our business ethics, business morals, more aligned with our human morals? It's ironic that they aren't, because we also define corporations as people now. It's another neoliberal topic that we'll talk about in a different video. So hopefully it's clear now. Neoliberalism opens the door wide open for this type of behavior. And again, there was nothing illegal about him changing the price of the drug. People just had to pay it. That's just how much the drug costs now. So I'll just end with this last bit here, because he is in jail. He was defrauding 2 hedge funds that he ran, and I love this quote at the bottom here from his own lawyer, saying that there are times when I want to hug him and hold him and comfort him, and there are times when I want to punch him in the face. Yeah, for your lawyer to be saying that about you, that's something. Because but you see where he's coming from, right? Like, look at that's the face of white privilege right there. So, he says that he learned from his mistakes. He feels bad about it. We shouldn't have to go through this for us to realize that neoliberalism is bad. Now we know, right? Neoliberalism is bad. Let's try to change it. Let's try to get it on a more ethical track. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Adrian. This has been Share the Wealth.